Top tier game. What's good? What's good? What's good? Oh, let me fix that screen, y'all. Top of the morning. We up working like I told y'all. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? We doing a live video today. You know, track ads, and she was pretty interesting. So I just wanted to see what it's not a woman. I actually live in Phoenix, Arizona. I seen her walking one day downtown with her girlfriend. So I don't know. That's what made the story interesting to me. I wanted to just, see what the hell they had going on. We're gonna pull up a couple clips. We're gonna watch this, and then we're gonna do our own.
It's her second stint with the
Rakia and Brittney
Griner. Griner and Jackson.
So Rakia Jackson just jumped headfirst into the Brittney Griner drama, and she didn't come empty-handed. She dropped a twist that might finally explain the generational tension bubbling between the two stars. And yes, it's tied to the whispers and rumors that have been floating around about Brittney for weeks now. More specifically, it's about how Rakia allegedly found out the truth about Brittney's. To insiders, Rakia sat on this secret for a while. She didn't know how to move with it, so she kept her mouth shut and focused on her game. But now that people are labeling her as the league's trouble,
something, if you ask me, I don't know.
Playing quiet. This WNBA saga has more twists than a late-night telenovela, and things are getting messy fast, so let's dive in.
It makes absolutely no sense for you to, on one hand, say you're standing up for women's rights and women's pay, and then on the other hand saying it's criminal that a biological man in women's sports and not the NBA. If you felt like there was no difference, there was no advantages that men have, then why don't you play in the NBA?
Lately, the WNBA has gone from barely making headlines to becoming one of the most chaotic leagues in pro sports. And now, two of its most talked about stars, Rakia Jackson and Brittney Griner, are caught in a beef that came out of nowhere and took fans by surprise. Whatever you thought this league was before.
Hold on, so I'm confused. Is Brittney Griner a man playing in the WNBA or posing as a woman and they know this, or what the hell going on? Like, that's why, come on, I gotta get into
Forget
this
it,
more.
because the drama just hit a whole new level. And Rakia, she's not buying woke. Rakia's calling out the double standard. Like, how does one player get away with breaking one of the league's most basic fundamental rules about player eligibility and face zero backlash? According to Rakia, that's exactly what's been going on with Brittney. But here's the well, it all traces back to a heated moment in September last year during a Mercury versus Sparks matchup. That's when everything started to unravel. Just before the game was headed into a break, about 20 seconds on the clock, Rakia and her teammate Lee Guru were doing a standard box out on Brittney. And for anyone who's ever watched a game, boxing out is just a normal defensive move, nothing shady, but something in that play triggered way more than a little contact. It sparked a deeper conflict, one that led Rakia to start asking serious questions about what's really going on behind the scene, and what she found left her shook. Out of nowhere, boom, Brittney threw an elbow and smashed Rakia right in the face. No warning, no build-up, just straight aggression. And you already know Rakia wasn't about to let that slide. She stepped up, confronted Brittney on the spot, and the two nearly came to blows before teammates and coaches had to rush in and pull them apart.
Debut at Dallas. This her second stint with the
Rakia and Brittney
Griner. Griner and Jackson.
Boy, that developed very quickly.
Both Brittney and Rakia got ejected after the scuffle, but when they returned later, it was crystal clear where the crowd stood. Let's just say it wasn't Team Brittney.
Griner was caught on tape during a game with the Indiana Fever, dropping racial slurs against Caitlin Clark. I mean, pretty obviously doing so.
Tech fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
And it doesn't take a lot of genius to lip read Brittney Griner, whose voice, by the way, is about as low as mine is, calling her trash and an effing white girl. Now, of course,
fans couldn't believe what they had just witnessed. The whole scene turned into the headline of the night, and even though it was obvious that Brittney threw the first shot, people were stunned when she finally spoke about the incident and brushed it off like it was nothing serious. No apology, no concern. Her exact words, it's basketball. Stuff gets heated, like there's nothing personal. I like Rakia, I like her game, so no hard feelings or anything like that. It's part of the game. Sure, basketball gets physical, everyone knows that, but clocking someone in the face and then acting all chill about it, that's different. Rakia took a hit, stood her ground, and now fans are starting to wonder if there's more behind that elbow than just competitive energy. Something about this whole thing just doesn't add up, and Rakia clearly isn't letting it slide anymore. This wasn't just bad sportsmanship, it felt like straight up malice, and it happened with the whole world watching. But the drama didn't stop there. At that time, Ricky wasn't some rookie still learning the ropes. She had enough court experience to know when something was off, and the way Brittany came at her during a routine play, that kind of aggression didn't feel like a heat-of-the-moment slip-up. It felt personal. She flipped everything she thought she knew about the WNBA upside down. She'd heard whispers before, but what she uncovered went way deeper than she ever expected. Turns out, the league wasn't just holding secrets. It was protecting one of its star players under false pretenses. And yep, you guessed it. That player was none other than Brittney Griner. What hit Ricky hard, Brittany wasn't being protected because of merit or stats, but simply because she fit a certain image jeopardized, no matter what happened on the court. And suddenly, everything clicked. Brittany's on-court confidence, the unchecked fouls, the cold attitude after rough plays, it all started to make sense. Rikia realized Brittany wasn't just bold, she was protected. She lied to controversy. Her career is full of wild moments, caught on camera, sparking debates over and over again. The only difference now, someone from inside the league is finally pulling back the curtain. When everybody on your team is complaining about injuries from the same player, and even opponents are walking off the court bruised up after one of her plays, it's time to stop brushing it off. There's clearly a real
Okay, so Brittney Griner is not a man, I guess. She's just aggressive.
Folks act like it's all exaggerated, but it's not. We've all seen the footage. Brittany getting way too physical, throwing elbows, pushing off, and making contact that goes way beyond regular game intensity. And even if you just...
She fucked that. Then you always go to jail over there for 8 damn year for some fucking a vape pen. You'll be aggressive and mad too, shit.
The Brittany going after Caitlin Clark. That wasn't defense. That was domination, and not in a good way. Rikia saw it too. She noticed the pattern, and it made her start connecting the dots, wondering what was really going on behind Brittany's so-called dominance on the court.
You play or can you not play? Do you have an advantage or do men don't play against biological women? Why? Because they will be dusting you off all day long. Do you think that Brittney Griner can play in the NBA? F no. She wouldn't even make any team in the NBA. Brittney Griner wouldn't make a single NBA team roster. None. She wouldn't even be on a practice squad. And you know what they do during training? This is what makes me...
See, this is what, so she is a man playing
basketball. They play against men who are not professional because the women ain't gonna push them to be better. The men are gonna push them. And she know that, I know that, you know that. But they still get on stage and be disingenuous and foolish. Nobody's trying to block a transgender for playing sports. Nobody's trying to block a transgender for playing sports. You just can't cheat, bruh. Why is there no trans man turn into a man and win in first place?
So she a transgender.
Because we know it don't happen.
That led to the real question. How does Brittany walk away from these encounters without a scratch, while other players end up sidelined for multiple games with injuries? Something didn't make sense. Something didn't make sense. And it wasn't long before people started coming to a heavy conclusion, one that's been speculation. She might not actually be on the same playing field. She might not actually be on the same playing field as them in more ways than one. Now, Rikia wasn't just questioning her treatment on the court. She was starting to question the foundation of something deeper was at play, and she was ready to speak on it. Look, there's a reason why men's and women's sports have always been kept separate, and it's not about ego or favoritism. It comes down to science. For decades, medical experts have studied the biological differences between male and female athletes: stamina, lung capacity, muscle mass, height, agility, and how fast someone can recover after intense play. And what they found was clear. In most cases, men and women can't compete on the exact same playing field fairly. That's why every professional sport has male and female divisions. It's not about who's better, it's about keeping competition equal. Pure genetics, plain and simple.
Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man. One of the videos that give us cause to say that is this video. It is from her Instagram stories from years and years ago. And when it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittany posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks was not like, oh, this is a female chest, we have to take this down. Oftentimes, if breast cancer runs in a family, women will preemptively get like double mastectomies. There's some great surgeons out there, don't get me wrong, but I don't see any scars on Brittany's chest that would be indicative of a double mastectomy or top surgery for gender transition.
So what happens when one female player starts showing a crazy physical advantage over the rest of the league? It's time to stop ignoring the signs and start connecting the dots. Case in point, why didn't Instagram's and it involves women? But Brittany's clip, it stayed up. The AI probably didn't even recognize it as female nudity, and that raises questions, big ones.
That somebody who is now free, back in America on home soil, would not have too much to complain about. Especially something like this. Fans in every sport. She described the fans.
Yeah.
Every arena. So, and then when you clearly she's not remembering who they let out, wanted to kill American citizens, according to the reports. That's who they let out. Mm-hmm. For her. You would think that you would be smiling, you would be, it does, is disturbing. I'll leave it.
And here's where things take a major turn. While digging into everything, Rikia reportedly stumbled across some alleged medical records that might back up what a lot of fans have been whispering about for a while. According to what she found, Brittney Griner might not be who she's always claimed to be. If that's true, it wouldn't just shake the WNBA. It would call into question the rules, the protection, and everything the league's been standing behind.
This is crazy. So to think Brittney Griner is a man playing in the women's sports well, whoever let this go on, this is crazy work. I don't know. This is how I feel. You know, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? One of those moments, because, like, brother, I do not know. This is crazy work right here.
Rikia is not just dealing with on-court drama now. She's holding something that could blow the lid off one of the WNBA's most protected secrets. At this point, the only explanation that makes sense to some is that Brittney Griner's been protected, not just by the league, but possibly by higher powers. People are saying the government itself might have stepped in, trying to keep this whole situation buried to avoid a public meltdown. Think about it. If it ever came out that the WNBA knowingly misled paying fans about who one of their biggest stars really is, that would rock the league to its core. And the legal chaos, forget a few lawsuits, courtrooms would be tied up for the next decade sorting through the fallout. Now, as for Rikia Jackson, all eyes are on her. She clearly isn't done. It's not just about exposing Brittney Griner anymore. It's about pulling back the curtain on everyone involved. Rikia seems ready to dig even deeper and use what she's found to trace Brittney's ties to the people shielding her from consequences inside the league. And the truth is, the WNBA might not be ready for what's coming if Rikia blows this story wide open.
But I just don't know. You can't believe everything, man. You hear? You know, everything glitter and gold. So we're just going to sit back and see how this story unfolds. I mean, hey, and if it is, that's a multi-billion-dollar company, platform, industry. They're not going to let that shit get exposed. Anything Rikia Jackson is going to be kicked out of silence. So,